All right, let's dive right into two blockbuster moves that are absolutely shaking up the NBA. We're going to start with one that sent some serious shockwaves through the entire league.
I mean, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. A total stunner. That's the reaction to the news that the LA Clippers are actively, right now, trying to trade superstar James Harden before the deadline.
So you have to ask yourself, what is really going on here? The Clippers go on this incredible 17-4 run, they look like a legitimate contender, and now they're looking to trade one of the main guys behind all that success? It just doesn't add up, right?
And this is where things get really interesting. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they see an opening. Reports are saying they're dangling their own star guard, Darius Garland, in a possible swap. So why is this even on the table? Well, it all comes down to Harden's contract. His future in LA beyond this season is a big question mark. And at this point in his career, he is all in on chasing a ring.
And you can totally see why teams are lining up. The guy is still putting up elite numbers. We're talking 25 points a game, and he's dishing out the third most assists in the entire league. He can still absolutely be the engine that makes a high-powered offense go.
Okay, but to really get this, you got to look at it from Cleveland's side. They feel like they've underachieved, so now they're actually willing to break up their core four to try and build a better team around Donovan Mitchell and, convince him to stick around with a big extension. The pressure is on. But look, a trade this big, it's never as simple as just swapping one player for another. There are a ton of financial and contractual hoops you have to jump through, which kind of brings us to the real price of landing a superstar. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, because this is where it gets complicated. So first, you have the easy part. The salaries are almost a perfect match. That's step one, check. But then, it gets tricky. Harden basically has a no-trade clause, which means he holds all the cards. He has to okay the trade. Then, he'd have to agree to give up a $2.3 million trade bonus. And finally, the big one. He's going to want his contract for next year fully guaranteed, or maybe even a whole new deal. Seriously, so many dominoes have to fall in just the right way for this thing to actually happen. So if you're Cleveland, you're looking at a classic high-risk, high-reward situation here, right? Do you bring in an offensive genius, a guy who could make your big men even better, even if it means you're probably taking a step back on defense? And you gotta wonder if you're creating a too many cooks in the kitchen problem with two guys who need the ball in their hands. And this is the thing you really have to understand. Cleveland wouldn't be trading for the old MVP Harden, the guy who dominated the ball. No, they'd be getting the facilitator. This is a more team-first player now. His pick-and-roll game is masterful, and it could be the key to completely unlocking their bigs, Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. So while all this drama is unfolding with the Clippers and the Cavs and their big superstar gamble, there's another team out there that's taking a completely different path to building a contender. Yeah, the Utah Jazz just pulled off a massive 8-player trade. They went out and got a former Defensive Player of the Year, Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies. A huge move.
And their whole strategy? It's pretty simple, actually. Just get huge. I mean, if you want to compete in the West these days, you have got to have the size to bang with the giants of the conference.
And you can see why. Just look at the competition. You've got Chet Holmgren, you've got Victor Wembanyama, you've got Nikola Jokic. The West is a land of giants. So the Jazz are basically saying, okay, we see your giants, and we're going to raise you a whole front line of them. But wait, there's a really fascinating twist to Utah's whole plan, and it has everyone around the league watching them like a hawk. Okay, so here's the deal. The Jazz owe their next first-round draft pick to Oklahoma City, but there's a condition. They only have to give it up if it falls outside the top 8. As of right now, they have the 6th worst record in the league, which means they're on track to keep that super valuable pick. So think about this for a second. This is the insane tightrope they're trying to walk. They just brought in a star player, but they might have to keep tanking, or at least not winning too much, to make sure they don't accidentally win their way out of the top 8 and lose that crucial pick. It is an unbelievable balancing act. So what we're really seeing here are two totally different philosophies on how to build a champion, and they're both unfolding right in front of us.
On one side, you have this high wire act, the superstar shortcut, where you're hoping for instant success. And on the other side, you've got this slow, methodical, long-term build that's all about accumulating size and assets through the draft.
At the end of the day, they're both massive gambles, right? Both are chasing the exact same goal, hanging a championship banner. The real question that's left is, which one of these paths is actually more likely to pay off?